Welcome to video number 4. In this video, I'm going to do a practical example with some actual numbers, and this would be an example of something that I could ask you on a test or a quiz. So in this example, you are given an equation of an ellipse, x squared over 9 plus y squared over 25 equals 1. And you want to make a quick note that because the number under the y squared is larger, that my a squared is actually going to be 25 and my b squared is going to be 9. And because the number under the y squared is larger, the major axis will be the y-axis, which means this will be a vertical ellipse. Okay, so the question is asking us, find the length of the major radius, the minor radius, length of major axis, length of minor axis, vertices, co-vertices, foci, and center. So what I highly recommend in these problems is to draw yourself a sketch. You could either use graph paper or just sort of freehand it. So I'm going to just draw a rough sketch. Okay, and I know this is a vertical ellipse, so I'm going to draw this, to be sort of tall and skinny. And again, this is not to scale by any means. Okay, so let's start. Length of major radius. Okay. The major radius is going to be the letter A. And in this case, since a squared is 25, the major radius is going to be 5 units long. Okay, so that means that this distance here and this distance here is 5, right? That's my A. That's a distance of 5. And this is also a distance of 5. Okay, now, just let's kind of work from there. We now know if this distance is 5, we know that the center, because there's no h or k value, is 0, 0. So I guess I should have probably started with the center. And actually in the next video, I'll do one where we're not at the origin, but you should have probably started at the center. Everything is in relation to the center. So 0, 0 is here. And I know that that distance A is 5. Okay, so what I typically do next is find the length of the major axis. If this distance is 5 for my major radius and this distance is 5, the length of the major axis is just 10 units, okay? Now the length of the minor radius is going to be denoted by the letter B, and since B squared is 9, B itself is 3. So I know that this distance here is 3, this distance here is 3, okay? Therefore, the length of the minor axis, 3 plus 3 is equal to 6. So far, so good. Now, remember that our vertices are always going to be on the major axis. So that's whichever one is bigger. And I know, because I know that distance is 5 units from the center, that one of my vertices is at 0, 5. So one of the vertices is at 0, 5. And then the other one is going to be at 0, negative 5. 0, negative 5, okay? Co-vertices, again, are always going to be on the minor axis. And so I know, because I started at 0 and I went over 3, that 3, 0 and negative 3, 0 are my co-vertices. Okay, and then finally the foci. Where are those located? Those are going to be ordered pairs. They're going to be somewhere on the major axis. And so to do that, I'm going to use my formula. C equals, plus or minus the square root of a squared minus b squared. And again, we'll derive that formula in a future video. So C equals plus or minus, okay? I know that a squared is 25, and I know, yes, a squared is 25, b squared is 9, so I know that C is plus or minus the square root of 16 plus or minus 4, which tells me that this is the point 0, 4. That's one of my foci, and my other foci, or focus point I should say, is at 0, negative 4. Okay, so foci are denoted by the letter C. Okay, so this would be a perfect 100% answer to a quiz question. In the next video, I'm going to do an example where the center is not at 0, 0, and we're going to see how we can work from there.